Hi and welcome back. Today we're going to break down foot anatomy and x-ray positioning in a way that actually makes sense clinically, not just memorizing bones, but understanding how the anatomy connects directly to your radiographic positioning. If you're a radiography student, an x-ray tech, or studying for your boards, then this is the perfect video for you. We'll start with the anatomy, then we'll move into the x-ray foot positions, which are the apiaxial, the medial oblique, and the lateral projection. I'll discuss why we include a tube angle, why we rotate, and what makes a radiograph diagnostic. If you don't understand the anatomy, you cannot master the positioning. Let's get started. The foot is a complex three-dimensional structure that's made up of 26 bones and is organized into three regions:
the hindfoot, the midfoot, and the forefoot.
Understanding the difference between these three regions is critical when evaluating trauma and positioning the foot correctly. So let's talk about the hindfoot.
So the hindfoot consists of the talus and the calcaneus. So the talus articulates with the tibia and the fibula at the ankle joint. Its dome, which is the talar dome, is seen in here, this dome here. This must appear smooth and intact on your lateral and AP views. The calcaneus forms the heel and helps to support our weight. Posteriorly, you can see where the calcaneal tuberosity would be. When you look at it on a foot radiograph, make sure that you pay attention to the subtalar joint. This allows for the inversion and eversion movements of the ankle. And then again, the alignment of the second metatarsal with the intermediate cuneiform. This is a common area for a Lisfranc joint complex, and I will go into detail on that in an upcoming slide. Make sure you know the sustentaculum tali, and then that you can also see the longitudinal arch of the foot. So again, the hind foot is the back part of the foot, which makes up the talus and the calcaneus.
If you don't understand these relationships anatomically, you won't recognize the pathology radiographically.
So the midfoot is made up of the navicular, the cuboid, and the three cuneiforms, which are the medial, the intermediate, and the lateral. In this example, you can see this is a left AP foot and this is a right AP foot. So the navicular bone is going to articulate posteriorly with the talus bone as well as the calcaneus. And then anteriorly, the navicular is going to articulate with those three cuneiform bones. So the medial, the intermediate, or the lateral. Sometimes they can also be referred to as the first, second, and third cuneiform. You'll also see the cuboid bone, which is here, that is seen laterally on the foot. The forefoot is the top portion of the foot, so you have the 5 metatarsals here and then the 14 phalanges seen here. In addition to these two little tiny sesamoid bones that are on the head of the first metatarsals. And the metatarsals have a head, a shaft, and a base.
Knowing your foot anatomy is essential in helping you with positioning the patient's foot and to see their anatomy correctly. Start thinking of the bones by region, and then each time you take an x-ray, you'll be able to verbally identify the anatomy of the foot. Repetition builds confidence, and confidence builds competence. Now let's connect the anatomy to your positioning. A standard foot series includes
an apiaxial foot, a medial oblique foot, and a lateral foot.
Each view shows you something different.
So the apiaxial foot, so this is not a straight AP. You want the patient seated or supine on the table with the image receptor tabletop, a 40-inch SID, and the plantar surface of the foot, which is the bottom part of the foot. You want that flat on the image receptor and the long axis of the foot aligned with the image receptor, and make sure that you shield your patient. You're going to angle the x-ray tube 10 degrees cephalic or towards the patient's heel and center to the base of the third metatarsal.
Why do we angle the x-ray tube 10 degrees? The metatarsals naturally slope. Without the angulation, the joint spaces close. By adding the 10-degree cephalic angle, you'll open the tarso-metatarsal joint spaces.
Make sure to include the entire foot, 1 inch on either side of the foot, and include the distal tibia-fibula shadows, and make sure that your x-ray marker is visible on your image.
What makes an apiaxial foot diagnostic?
The axial projection of the foot better demonstrates the tarso-metatarsal joint spaces and reduces foreshortening. So your tarso-metatarsal joint spaces, so these are your tarsal bones, and then these are your metatarsal bones. So you'll see them really well on the AP axial foot. You will see open metatarsal joint spaces here. So the metatarsal, and then these are the phalanges, and then this is the metatarsal phalangeal joint seen here. And then the IP joints, which are seen here distally. You will see those, but they may appear partially closed because of the divergent X-ray beam. Make sure there's no rotation of the foot, equal soft tissue margins around the foot, and the third, fourth, and fifth metatarsals will be seen superimposed. Make sure that you see both the talus and the calcaneus in its entirety on your X-ray. If the joints of the foot appear closed, make sure that you are checking your tube angle. So if a patient has a higher arch, so when they put their foot on here, you look at their foot and they have a higher arch, you may need to increase your CR to about 15 degrees cephalic. If they have more of a flat foot, then you may need to decrease your angle from 10 degrees down to 5. By doing so, this will help keep the metatarsals perpendicular to the image receptor.
The medial oblique foot highlights the lateral structures of the foot. If you can't see the sinus tarsi, your rotation is off.
For the medial oblique foot, from an AP position, rotate the patient 30 to 40 degrees medially to place the plantar surface perpendicular to the image receptor. The CR will be perpendicular to the image receptor and will be centered at the base of the third metatarsal, which is also the same level as the medial cuneiform. You're going to have a 40-inch SID, and you're going to want to make sure that you shield the patient. In a medial oblique foot, the third through fifth metatarsals will be seen without superimposition, in addition to open joint spaces. First metatarsal will be closer to the image receptor, and then the fifth metatarsal is brought further away from the image receptor. This allows us to see more of the lateral surface of the foot. If you rotate the patient too much, you'll end up seeing the metatarsals more superimposed. If you do not rotate the foot up enough, then you'll still see superimposition here between the third, fourth, and possibly the fifth metatarsals. You really need to rotate their leg up more than you think. That's going to allow that sinus tarsi, which is this area right here, to become more open. And then also, so you can see the cuboid laterally, you'll see that more laterally in profile. And then also you'll see the base of the fifth metatarsal in profile as well. So in my clinical experience, I often find that the medial oblique projection of the foot is under-rotated. Ideally, you want to rotate the patient between 30 to 40 degrees medially in order to obtain a diagnostic X-ray. It's important to know what anatomy you should see when positioning your patient for each projection. This is essential in determining whether you have correctly rotated the patient or not. The fifth metatarsal base is a common fracture site, especially for avulsion injuries. Bone fractures of the fifth metatarsal, which is seen here, and this area here, are best seen in the medial oblique projection of the foot. Make sure that you rotate the patient between 30 to 40 degrees medially so that you can see the fourth and fifth metatarsals without superimposition. A Lisfranc complex. So this region is a high yield trauma area, and this is an injury that can affect the bones and ligaments in the joints of the foot. So right here you can see that the medial border of the second metatarsal, so here's your first metatarsal and your second, so that space in between, this is where the intermediate cuneiform aligns with that. It becomes displaced and it can be very painful. So this type of injury can be subtle or obvious on the X-ray and can be very painful for the patient to bear weight. They may experience swelling in the midfoot area, and symptoms may vary depending on the extent of the injury.
What should be demonstrated on a lateral foot X-ray?
So when you're positioning a patient, you want to make sure that they're rolled onto their affected side into a lateral recumbent position. Their knee, their hip, and their foot should all be in the same plane, as you can see here. You're going to place the plantar surface perpendicular to the image receptor and carefully dorsiflex the foot which means you're going to take that foot and if they can flex it back towards their head, and then this helps to open up the joint space here when they dorsiflex their foot, and that space is the tibiotalar joint space. You're going to have a 40-inch SID with no tube angulation, so the CR is going to be perpendicular to the base of the third metatarsal, and your exposure is going to be between 60 to about 65 kVp.
If the patient struggles to hold the position, you can use sponges underneath the patient's knee for support. Why is the lateral foot x-ray most commonly positioned incorrectly? Let's review.
So how can you tell when you're looking at a lateral x-ray of the foot if it's over or under rotated, or if it is in a good true lateral position? Well, here's an example. So this one here is your true lateral. You can tell that the plantar surface, which is this area here of the foot, is dorsiflexed correctly, and it is seen perpendicular to the image receptor. When you look at this one here, you can see more of the third, fourth, and fifth metatarsals and more of like top portion of the foot, which would suggest that the patient is under rotated. In this example, you can tell that the patient is over rotated because underneath here you start to see third, fourth, and the fifth metatarsals underneath. So if that's the case, they've rotated up too much, and then you're seeing the underside of their foot. So if you see this on your x-ray with the third, fourth, and fifth metatarsal seen in profile, sometimes the cuboid you'll be able to see in profile as well, you want to elevate their knee, prop that up so it's comfortable for them, and then rotate it enough so it gets into this true lateral position. If the x-ray is taken like this and you see the metatarsals more anteriorly, then you're going to want to bring their knee closer to the table so that you get more of a view that looks like this one.
Always check plantar surface alignment. In my experience, I often find that the lateral projection is most over-rotated. To make sure the patient isn't over-rotated, you can place a sponge underneath their knee to not only provide comfort to the patient, but to also help keep the plantar surface of the foot perpendicular to the image receptor.
So occasionally doctors' offices will order a weight-bearing foot x-ray or a bilateral standing feet x-ray. So what does this mean and why are we doing it? So it's a more diagnostic way to access the alignment and the stability of bones and joints when they're under pressure. These views can help diagnose fractures, joint deformities, or other conditions that may not be visible with a non-weight-bearing x-ray. This type of x-ray can provide important functional information about how the foot behaves when weight-bearing. Be sure that you label your x-rays as weight-bearing. So this is an example of how the patient would be positioned. You would have the image receptor underneath the patient's foot. You would angle the CR 15 degrees to enter the base of the third metatarsal, same as if you would if they were on the table. And then you're going to want them to apply pressure when they are standing. Sometimes we can have them bring this foot in front and have them put pressure here. That way it is a true weight-bearing image. Make sure you have all of the anatomy on the x-ray, including the soft tissue that surrounds the bones of the foot, and make sure that the foot is not rotated. For a lateral projection, we do a cross table. We have the patient stand on a platform. In this case, they have a platform designed to hold an image receptor. Not all clinical sites will have this feature, so sometimes they will have a step that the patients can get on, and then they have the bucky that will be here, and they align that with the center of the foot and then get the same anatomy that way. So the x-ray tube will be over here. They will shoot perpendicular to the image receptor. You'll have the patient's foot aligned here. You may have to build up the foot a little bit to get it in the middle of the image receptor, and then you're just going to shoot perpendicular, again with your CR placement at the base of the third metatarsal. you'll get an image that looks like this. You want to see, again, just like you would on a regular foot x-ray, you want to see the lower 1/3 of the distal tibia and fibula bones, all of the foot anatomy and profile. Make sure it's not rotated in any way, that you've included the soft tissue, and that you have labeled this as weight bearing.
Always check the plantar alignment before exposure. Small adjustments make major differences. Mastering the lateral view builds confidence and competence in clinical rotations. Foot anatomy and x-ray positioning become simple when you understand the purpose behind every movement. Practice identifying anatomy on every image. Refine your positioning intentionally and always evaluate your work critically. The more deliberate you are, the more confident and competent you'll be in the clinical setting. If this video helped you with learning foot anatomy and helped you feel more confident in your x-ray positioning, then like and subscribe for easy to follow x-ray tips and real image critique. Master x-rays one at a time. Subscribe for weekly positioning tips. See you in the next video.